Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be repotting some of my tomatoes. These ones in the bigger containers are going to stay in their bigger containers. They're good to go. I'm going to keep them in there as long as I can until I put them in their grow bags. So today we're just going to be repotting these ones in the little tiny cups because it's time. These ones are just not looking that great. So I also have this whole box out here on my deck. Today it's only going to be it's going to get to almost 60 today. So I'm starting to harden them a little bit. I want to get them used to being outside in the wind. Also, I did want to show you my herb tower as well. I did end up filling it the other day when I was mixing dirt in my wheelbarrow. I am happy with it. I think it's nice. I'm gonna get it on I want to get some, what are they called with the wheels? A tray on casters, a rolling plant tray. I'm gonna put it on a rolling plant tray because I want to be able to like spin it and move it, because otherwise these ones here are not going to get very much sun just because of where our deck is. But anyways, today we are going to be transplanting some tomatoes, so let's get planting. For these bigger seedlings, you're only going to put just a tiny bit of dirt at the bottom because you're going to bury the stem all the way up to just below their first set of leaves. And if they still have those the first leaves, they're called something and I can't think of it. You're gonna bury up to where the
cotyledons
were, but you can pluck them off. This one, they've already fallen off. This is my first year doing a vegetable garden, but I have a ton of houseplants. So I'm not a complete novice when it comes to taking care of plants. However, I'm pretty sure my wimpy tropicals have much different care needs than tomatoes. My tomatoes are repotted. They're ready to go. I need to give them a good heavy drink, and then I'll probably top them off with some more soil since the soil settles. And then they will be ready to hang out in some dappled shade for the day since it'll be warm enough. And I'll bring them in at night and tuck them in underneath a nice little blankie, and I'll put a lullaby on them because they're babies and you need to be babied. Anyways, I'll catch you later. Okay, so I just realized when I was watering this that I did not take any of these caps off, and they need to come off so that they can drain into each other. Oh God. Now it should drain from the top into the bottom.
Listen, y'all, I managed to yap for the entire time I was arranging these hanging baskets, so I decided to go ahead, speed it up for you. I did want to talk a little bit about my gardening experiences I've had in the past. This is my first time taking it more seriously. I've tried to keep little cherry tomatoes in pots in years past. They all succumb to the environment in one way or another. One year was due to my failure to water sufficiently. Another year we had a historic hailstorm. Another thing that impacted it was that I had really young children, and toddlers just love to pick unripe tomatoes. It was always a battle keeping my children away from them, but they're a little bit older now, so hopefully they will understand and have a little bit more patience. There are a few things that I'm doing differently this year. The first one being I don't have young toddlers and babies anymore, so I just have a little bit more time and a little bit more freedom to do what I would like to do this summer. Don't get me wrong, we're still at a very much hands-on age, but I do have a little bit more time. So the other thing that I'm doing differently is that I'm a little bit more determined. I'm taking it a little bit more seriously. I do have backup plans. I do have goals. My first goal that I had was to ensure that my seeds germinated. That did end up happening. The next goal was to get them transplanted into larger pots so that I could get them a little bit more established. And then my next goal is to acclimate them to living outside. Let me tell you something. The day after I repotted all of my seedlings, I managed to sunburn all of my tomato plants. One of them is for sure dead. I think the rest of them are going to be just fine. But if they all die, I guess I'll be making a trip to the greenhouse. Speaking of greenhouses, this year I'm putting together my hanging baskets, even though some years I get them straight from the store. This year I just wanted to do it myself. I especially love petunias for my hanging baskets, so I grabbed a few different colors. I am really loving these like blue purple ones mixed in with a yellow. The other basket that you saw me putting together before has darker colored petunias in them, and I absolutely love the darker colors. Even though they don't seem to flower as profusely as the lighter colors, I just can't help myself. Those are just so beautiful. My main struggle with hanging baskets with the cocoa liner like these is that you have to water them almost every single day you don't get a good rain. So they're a little bit high maintenance, but I always think they end up being worth it. I did put those other pink flowers in a separate container that I'm going to have to find a home for later. I'll find a spot. I'm not too worried about it. We are going to head over to the kitchen after I finish watering up these petunias, and we are going to make some banana pancakes. This recipe is my own. It's sweetened with dates. Other than that, it's a pretty standard banana pancake recipe. I will write down the specifics in the description box below. This is something that I have come up with on my own, and it is a popular meal request amongst my family. Right here, you're going to see me make a life-changing decision. I normally mash the bananas by hand, but since we have to blend the dates up anyways, I decided to throw them right in the blender cup. I also add my milk here to make it easier to blend up. This will create a very smooth banana, date, milk smoothie sort of combination, and it really is going to make mixing the pancake batter a little bit easier. Look at that, it's so smooth. Next we're going to crack an egg, whip it up, add a little vanilla as well, and you're also going to add a little bit of melted butter. I like to add it nice and slow to make sure it doesn't solidify in the cooler ingredients. Mix all the wet ingredients together, and then of course we'll add all of our dry ingredients right into the wet, and we're going to fold it in nice and gentle. You will find that this batter is extra thick, but do not panic. It's going to be fine. They're going to turn out perfect. You're going to flatten them out a little bit with your scoop, and it's going to be okay. Your kids are going to be begging you for these pancakes every single morning. And because you use dates to sweeten them, you're going to say, absolutely, my lovely children. Of course I will make you banana pancakes. They're healthy. There's a little bit of fiber in these. Speaking of, I feel like since I entered my 30s, a couple years ago, I have found myself really taking my physical health seriously, and that means tracking my fiber, which is such a ridiculous thing to think about because just a few years ago, if you would have been telling me that I was going to be tracking my fiber every single day, I would have laughed in your face. There is no way. Anyways, you're going to get your griddle out or fire up a pan on your stove. Doesn't matter, whatever you feel like you want to do. I find that these tend to brown pretty fast and they take a little bit longer to cook because of how thick the batter is. So I like to choose a lower temperature for these. It just ends up working out. If I go much higher than like 325 or 350 even, they really start to get a dark brown. So just be ready for that. Here they are. They look amazing. They smell amazing. I know my family is going to eat them right up. This is what the inside looks like. Nice and fluffy. Very smooth, very soft. There's no big chunks of banana because we use the blender. Here it is with some butter and some syrup, but you can totally skip the syrup. They truly are sweet enough. My kids just pick them up and eat them with their hands, but I treat them like a dessert, so I put a little syrup on mine. But that is all I have for you today, so thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week with an update on my tomato garden. Please like and subscribe. Okay, bye!